On June 16, 1586, Mary, Queen of Scots, named her heir and successor Philip II of Spain. Since Mary was imprisoned at the time and not on any throne to give, this move was sure to irritate her jailer, Queen Elizabeth I of England. Plus, Philip II was Catholic, as was Mary, something the Protestant Elizabeth would certainly not tolerate.
Mary had become queen at age 6 days upon the death of her father, King James V of Scotland. Raised in France while adults ran Scotland, she was married to the heir, Dauphin, to the French throne, who became King Francis II in 1559, thus making Mary Queen of France. At least until 1560, when Francis died, which removed her from the throne in France. She went back to Scotland to reign as queen and married her cousin Henry Stuart in 1565. Only 2 years later, her husband's house was blown up and he was found murdered. James Hepburn was accused of the murder, but upon his acquittal, Mary promptly married him.
As if her life was not convoluted enough by this time, an uprising deposed her and Hepburn, and she was jailed. Forced to abdicate in favor of her 1-year-old son, Mary managed to flee to England to seek help from her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I.
Fully aware that Mary had also made claims on the throne of England, fairly legitimate claims as it was, Elizabeth also had her locked away in a variety of castles, but not in a dungeon. Though a prisoner, she still was treated with respect. Over 18.5 years of this, Mary's health deteriorated, including bouts of rheumatism and porphyria, all while English Catholics longed to put Mary on the throne of England, and Mary plotted ways to make that happen. Finally caught planning the assassination of Elizabeth, Mary was tried and convicted, sentenced to death and beheaded in 1587.
The beheading did not go well. The first blow from the executioner's axe landed on the back of Mary's head, and the second blow failed to cleanly sever her head. The executioner had to saw through the stubborn sinews with his axe, and when he grabbed her hair to hold her head up for the crowd to see, her hair came off. It became immediately apparent that Mary wore a wig and that her real hair was short and gray.
As if the above was all not spectacle enough, a small dog had been hiding in her skirts and refused to leave her body. The blood-drenched dog was carried away. Prior to her executioner asked her for her forgiveness, which she willingly gave. Her last words were a brief Latin prayer. She was only 44 years old.
The lives of European kings and queens could be ones of pampered luxury, but often were a constant struggle to stay in charge, fighting off intrigues from close family members as well as outsiders. One never knew when the peasants would revolt or trusted advisors would become assassins. How the people could believe these crowned heads were somehow anointed by God as the rightful rulers of these countries in light of the incessant murders and other cruel activities seems inexplicable.
As a question for my students and subscribers, do you think monarchy has a place in modern society? Should all monarchies be dissolved? Tell us what you think in the comments section below this video. If you like this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated.